Hi, welcome to the Liquid Sky Show. My name is Gabrielle Wired with Red Dragon Music. And for those of you who know what this show is about, this is about stage lighting and original local artists to the Maryland area or the region, Washington, D.C. And today I have with me Cecilia Grace and Tessa with the Cecilia Grace Band artists. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, awesome. So, well, I'd like to dive right in. So the show is, as I mentioned, about lighting and also promoting local artists in the area. And we found you guys on Facebook, and we were just absolutely blown away by the beautiful voices and the harmonies, and very impressed. And how I always like to start out the interview is just to kind of ask you, how did you get here? Where did you start? And I'm going to start with you, Cecilia. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get started in the industry? What's your background? And so on and so forth.
Well, our parents raised us, we're sisters, and we were raised in a very musical family.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always sung, and all my siblings have always sung,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of always wanted to be a singer.
Mm-hmm.
So just as I grew up, we just kind of developed it more from a hobby into a career.
Oh, nice. And how long have you been doing this more in a, I guess, professional, in the professional realm, if I could say?
It's been about 3 years for real, because
Mm-hmm.
I went to college for a year and a half, and then I decided to leave college to pursue music full time. So even though it has been professional for about 5 years, full time 3 years.
Yeah, and it takes that. If you're really serious about it, that's what you kind of have to do, And Tessa, I know you share a similar story, but tell me a little bit about you and, how did, I guess from what I understand, initially it was more of a solo career for you, and then you stepped in. So how did that all happen? Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we're 4 years apart. A lot of people don't think that. They either think that I'm older or, it just depends. But so I started off a little differently because I was a gymnast for 9 years, and I didn't really have much of an interest into music besides just singing in the car with Cecilia. But then once I started seeing her developing it as more of a career than a hobby, I took interest. I picked up the guitar, and we decided to make it a duo, and I decided that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I decided to at least put off college or not go at all, because I love doing what we do as a profession.
Well, and you guys are so talented. Like I said, I do believe that I have a very good ear for music, and I had the pleasure of listening to your music and some of the songs that we're going to talk about here today, and they're all original songs, and every single one of them is great.
Thank you.
And that, to me, you don't find very often. You listen to a lot of music, and I listen to a lot of music, and sometimes the originals are a little bit, they're okay, but they're not necessarily always inspiring. But every single song, you guys, and the harmonies, oh my gosh, I just can't, I know I keep saying this, but I just love them. And when we did sound check in the other room, because we're also going to have a live performance today, once again I was just in awe, because I listened to the recording, but now I actually heard you guys sound check, and I was just amazed. But let's dive right into the first song that we're going to hear tonight, and I Want to Be in Love. So you're telling us this song is about not wanting to stand for a relationship that is fully based in love, on love. It's about the pain behind being used and the idea that we shouldn't have to settle for someone who doesn't love us the way we love them. And I think that speaks to a lot of people. But, tell, who wrote the song? Did you write, or you co-wrote?
We wrote it together.
Okay, so why don't you tell me a little bit about that song, and then maybe you can chime in on that a little bit.
Well, we had a couple friends who were kind of going through something. Not all of our songs are based on personal experience necessarily. We kind of like to pull from friends and things that we hear that a lot of people can relate to. But definitely something that a lot of people can relate to is that you want something so badly, but the other person just only wants to kind of half-ass it kind of thing. So you can't keep pretending that you're in a relationship, or you can't keep pretending that you're in love with somebody that's not in love with you. And when you get to the bridge, my favorite line is, "I always seem to settle for less, and you don't want to reach for more." So it's kind of about just like not giving yourself and your relationship the fullest potential that it can have.
And people do that often in relationships. They actually do. They kind of like settle. You know, you settle and you make it okay, and you kind of do with it, and then you find out, you know, later, well, you shouldn't have probably done that because it doesn't really get you anywhere. And if you're in a relationship where the other person doesn't really feel the same way about you, and you know, it's like you're almost in love with yourself because they don't really love you as much. And it's kind of like,
It's like an idea more than actuality.
Yeah.
Right, and it happens. You know, I just and that's like I really like that part where, you know, who doesn't really love you the way that you love them, and that happens. It absolutely does happen. So what can you do? You can move on, right? At that stage, at some point, you know, it's kind of call the shots. But I also wanted to ask another question that, what were some of the inspirations that you guys had musically? I mean, you have your own style, but most people draw, I mean, musicians often draw from others that they have heard. What would be some musical influences that you can point to that kind of, you know, drew you in?
Well, growing up, it was definitely, we would listen to things such as what our parents would listen to, so it would be Bee Gees or Wilson Phillips. But there are so many new artists in this day and age, so we get inspired by all the new music coming out, but for a while it was Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, I was going to say that
One
too.
Direction, but we've listened to all types of music throughout all the years.
Your harmonies remind me a lot more of that more 70s style music, which I think is just so beautiful. And you know, there's the artistry behind that. I have not heard that even in a lot of the musicians that I listen to today, or more than the pop artists. They don't quite bring it like you guys bring it.
Time is slipping away from us, and I'm trying to hold on, and we can't keep doing this if we ain't in love. I wanna be loved. I wanna be loved.
on and off relationship with someone who doesn't really know what they want, and how you can't sit around waiting for them to decide. We should never sit around, right?
Yeah.
So once again, who is the main writer? You guys co-wrote everything, or is there sometimes one person that's more than the other?
I wrote the song
Cecilia
mostly.
definitely wrote.
Okay,
Yeah,
and so tell me,
lyrics.
what was the inspiration? How did you get to tell us about that song?
It was just like kind of the same kind of thing where it's like not fully a relationship, but I was definitely more into it than the other person was. But it's that kind of thing where they only text you or call you when they feel like it. It's on their terms and not yours, and it's not fair to either of you to continue it that way. But the other person just likes to seem to mess with your head until it doesn't matter to them anymore. You know what I mean?
But what becomes important is that it shouldn't matter to you.
Yeah.
That's kind of where you have to get to it in things like that. Is and I think for us ladies, sometimes it's a little harder to get to that point. When you want to break free, from those relationships that aren't going anywhere. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
I find it,
But I like to have conclusions in songs. Like, even though in real life, like, it's situations for us ladies where it seems like we can't let go and stuff like that. Like, in my songs, I always like to kind of, not necessarily pretend, but kind of for the betterment of mankind, give that there is a resolve.
Okay.
So in the bridge, my favorite lines are always in the bridge, but
Why don't you do this for me? Because you talk about it, but why don't you kind of sing the bridge? Can you sing it together? Can you guys?
yeah.
Yeah. Impromptu. It's okay.
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 It goes, next time you go, you're gone. This can't go on and on. It's really short.
That's about it.
Yeah, okay, got
Yeah,
it.
it's a
Okay,
short
good.
bridge.
Short bridge, but yeah, that's true. It's very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that kind of, like you said, that's kind of where you find it, the bridge. It's where you hone
like
in
the
on
resolve,
the resolve, on the message.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, love it.
Thank you.
Can't wait to hear the whole song.
We go on and off. We go back and forth. You're always on my mind. It's like a tug of war. You come and you go. Want me, then you don't. Won't reach out for days, then we're on the phone. I don't pretend it like you do. Can't separate it like you do. Don't wanna end it like you do. Every time you don't get your way. 'Cause no one can love me like you do. How I imagine that you do. Are you denying that you do? Every time you walk away. Say you got no time. Wanna see your friends. But don't you miss my eyes? Don't you miss my hands? Only text me when you're out, 'cause you can't go home alone. But I see clearly now, I should be on my own. 'Cause I don't pretend it like you do. Can't separate it like you do. Don't wanna end it like
you go, you're gone. This can't go on and on.
I don't pretend it like you do. Can't separate it like you do. Don't wanna end it like you do. Every time you don't get your way. No one can love me like you do. How I imagine that you do. Are you denying that you do? Every time you walk away, you just walk away. Yeah, you walk away. You just walk away.
Cliche. It's about a brand new relationship. In the beginning stages, they're often based on fear, lack of trust, having been hurt in the past. Oh Lord, I think we all have that, right? The idea behind the song is that the other person doesn't have to be afraid, that you can trust them, they can trust you, and also that your feelings towards the other person are a common cliche but real. Now that's an interesting one. I'd like for you, to explain, what do you mean by that?
Do you want to take this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where there's definitely fear in the potential relationship. You just want to make the person know that you're there for them, and that even if it's cliche or cheesy or what everyone else says when they're in love, that you're there to show that you like them, and that you're not holding back, and that you want to get rid of all the fear that they have.
Well, in fears in relationships, sometimes they're founded, sometimes they're unfounded, and just any kind of a new relationship too. It's always in the beginning everything is perfect. It's exciting and nobody can do any wrong, and then you get down into it a little bit, and then the next thing you start to notice that it's not perfect and there are issues. And the conclusion I always come to is there are no perfect relationships. We're all flawed as human beings, and that's just what it is. But you make the best of it, and you try to find some common ground, right? Would you say? But I like that, a common cliche but real. That punchline right there, it's real. Yeah.
You and your maybes, you and your possibly. You always leave me hanging on the edge. I never know what's going on, if there's something wrong. Replace that type of love for me instead. 'Cause I need you now, and I find a way somehow. I just care so much about you, babe. What could I ever be without you when you save me? I knew right from the start that you would be the one to steal my heart. I know it's cliche.
need to be on that trip. That's what I have to say. So that's what home is about, is when you miss somebody really badly. So there has to be a story behind that. Somebody that you know. So who's going to tell me about this one?
Well, I wrote this song. I was talking to this guy at this time. He's a good friend.
Good friend. No, okay.
Yeah, and he went on vacation, and we were just starting something, and it was really new, but
Frustrating that you
basically,
couldn't be around.
yeah, I missed him. I wanted him to come home, and it rains a lot in Maryland, even in the summer, and it's really annoying. And he was somewhere where the weather was perfect, and I was just felt like I was at home and missing him, and I just wanted him to come back, and eventually he did. But
So now you miss him no more, right?
I don't need to miss him anymore.
Oh, okay.
He can just go back.
We won't even get into that one. Okay, that one. Okay. Hey, he has a song written about him, right?
Yeah.
He knows.
And he knows. He says it to everybody. But yeah, the from a relatable standpoint, it's just about when the person that you love or like is away, you know, somewhere better than you are, and you just want them to come back home even if the weather is terrible because you're there. You
Right,
know?
right, exactly.
I can be your sunshine.
There you go. There you go.
It's been a while that you've been gone. Don't you think it's time that you came along to me so we could figure this out? You picked the palm trees over Baltimore. You picked the sun over me, but I'll keep you warmer than the sun to come back to the storm. Come back home, home. You can come back home. Come back home, home. You can come back home. Darker skin and bluer skies, but I need your kiss and I need your eyes that gleam at night. So if you're feeling lonely, come back and hold me. Come back home, home. You can come back home. Come back home, home. You can come back home. Don't let all the memories fade. Don't even think about pain. But in a sea is somewhere that you don't know. And if you ever need me to, I'll hop out on a plane to you, and we can call wherever we are. We can call it home, come back home. You can come back home.
Is You Should Belong to Me.
Again, I wrote the songs that people can relate to it, but I think it's when you're really, really confident in in the relationship you're in,
Or trying to start.
trying to start the relationship. And it's just both clear to both of you that, you know, make it Facebook official.
Right.
But I mean, I guess you're just ready, you know, for the relationship. You've had enough time wondering if you belong with this person, and
You decided.
you decided.
And then the question was, did they decide too, or were they still kind of hanging out there? They were like, quite
No, they're ready.
they were
Just-
ready. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. At least it was, you know, definitely, you know, was two-sided, not one-sided.
Yeah,
And
yeah. There's a lyric. It says, and I think it's pretty obvious. You want me. So, like how in Cliche, it was us trying to tell a person that you don't have to fear. Whereas this song, it's more of like, hey, we both know that we belong together. Like, let's just do it. Like, you know.
Oh, that's correct. Okay. Well, tell our viewers a little bit of where they can find you. What's your, you know, your Facebook, your website, things of that nature. Go ahead and tell us where they can find you.
Well, our website is CeciliaGraceMusic.com, and that's spelled CECILIA, GraceMusic.com. We also have Facebook, so you can search Cecilia Grace Music on Facebook, and there's a page where you can add us and a page where you can like us. So make sure you press the like page. And we also have Twitter, which is Ceci Grace Music. So my nickname growing up was Ceci, and you just have to take the Leah off, so it's Ceci Grace Music. And then we have YouTube where we post videos every week, mostly, hopefully, usually. And then we have Instagram. Instagram is one of our favorites, and Snapchat.
And where do you guys play around here, would you say? Like,
We play in Fells Point, which is right near the Inner Harbor,
Yeah,
right on the water.
that general area is a lot of places where we have residencies. I mean, if you look on our website, we play all over. If you're in the general Maryland area, there's not really a place that
we
we
don't
don't play. You know, if like we're too far, like that's not a thing.
so once again, thank you so very much for tuning in to the Liquid Sky Show. My name is Gabrielle Wyatt with Red Dragon Music, and we had Cecilia Grace with Cecilia Grace Music and Tessa, her sister, here today. And again, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.